Welcome everyone to Reed Arena, College Station, Texas, and you're watching the SEC on ESPN. It's the first Saturday in March, last week of SEC regular season play, in a showdown between Vandy and Texas A&M, a couple of teams with so much at stake. Texas A&M seeking its first conference title in 30 years. Have a look at the standings here. If they win today, they'll have their first championship in a conference play since they were in the old Southwest Conference. Kentucky, meanwhile, taking on LSU. Vandy also with a shot at a share of a conference championship today. Kara Lawson, they're playing their best basketball at the right time.
Absolutely. They've come in winners of 4 in a row, and they have an opportunity to wreak some havoc of those standings. They want to create a 4-way tie for the SEC regular season. Damian Jones has lifted his game to a different level, and to me, that's been the biggest difference in this Vanderbilt team from the first half of the SEC slate to the second half of the SEC slate. And then we flip over to Texas A&M, winners of 5 in a row. Yes, they had a little bit of a slide there mid-season, but you said it, an opportunity for a championship. How many teams wake up on Championship Saturday, as they're calling it here in College Station, and have an opportunity to win the SEC, and the Aggies have that chance?
Not only are they calling it Championship Saturday, but as we take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Jet.com, Alex Caruso, one of 6 seniors playing their final home game here for the Texas A&M Aggies. We're underway, Commodores with control of the basketball. This is a very prolific Vanderbilt team at the offensive end. Jones on the lob up top, and that's going to be an offensive foul. He gets called on the push-off on Anthony Collins underneath. Jones has been playing his best basketball at the most opportune time of the season. The reigning SEC Player of the Week, averaging 21 points and 8 rebounds in the last couple of games.
He's been a force, and this Vanderbilt team now is playing like we thought they would to start the season. Big reason why they were picked to finish so high in the SEC. They're starting to get their groove. They got it back later in the year than everyone anticipated.
Tyler Davis was blocked at the other end. Roberson on the move. He's been playing well and gets the layup to go. Well,
if Damian Jones has been the principal difference maker, I think Roberson's been the second one. I mean, his consistency at that small forward position, you see the strength that he possesses. He's been big for Vandy.
Caruso had it blocked by Cornett, who leads the conference in blocked shots, and Vanderbilt in transition now. Roberson tripped and fouled on the play. That foul is going to go against Jalen Jones. His first personal foul, first team foul. It'll be Commodore basketball, side out of bounds, and Coach Stallings, the longest tenured coach in the conference, 17th season, the winningest coach in school history. He stopped a couple of weeks ago trying to figure out exactly the psyche of his team. Said he's just going to coach them up, get them ready to play, Kara, and let them do what they're supposed to do. And it's a formula that seems to have worked.
Great defense there by House.
House in transition, and one.
What a play end-to-end here for Daniel House. And you see just cutting off that drive with his body, gets there first, and then Alex Caruso with the pass ahead and the finish. I mean, when you look at both of these teams, Mark, they're both put together. I mean, when you look at the size and the strength they have at every position, and House is one of the more physically imposing perimeter players in the SEC.
Some very dynamic and imperious athletes on the court tonight. Jones blocked inside by Davis. You know, when we visited with Coach Kennedy yesterday, you could notice there was a discernible calm about him, and his team was extremely loose in practice yesterday. And Davis in particular, who made that defensive play a moment ago, was very vocal in some of the drills. At one point, yelling at one of his fellow bigs during one of the drills when House and Jones were going at him. Hey, put that little man in the hole. He's just a 3-man. And Davis on cue hit the rebound. In transition, House pulling up short. Baldwin to Jones.
Great transition defense there by A&M. What killed them in their first meeting was Vandy going by 17. Was Wade Baldwin in transition off of those drag screens early.
Cornett missing from downtown. This is one of the better three-point shooting teams in the SEC. Their third in conference from downtown. Baldwin going to run another set. Fisher Davis off the screen. Burnett has a mismatch here against the shorter House. Pardon me, against Jones. But he misfires, and here's Caruso. Knocked away nicely by Burnett. Baldwin in transition. Baldwin off the screen and drive. Fouled underneath, and Wade Baldwin, the fourth, will go to the free throw line.
Well, the defense on both sides has been really good. We showed you this earlier, House and his ability to cut off the drive with his strength and his lateral agility. And then you see great defense there by Jones, not fouling. I mean, this is going to be about toughness and competitiveness in the paint. I mean, you referenced what Tyler Davis said at practice yesterday. I mean, you're going to have to be tough. And already for Vanderbilt, we're seeing the length of Luke Cornett really affect. It affects post-entry passes. It affects your shot because he's so tall. He might not look like the most athletic guy out there, but man, he's agile and he moves well and he's got tremendous length.
Averaging about 3 blocks per game this season. Caruso out top, the all-time assists and steals leader for the Aggies. Davis sets the screen for House. They tried to set up the lob for Davis. Nobody home, though. Good defense by the Commodores again. Yeah, that was even better offense. House, one of those 6 seniors playing their last game here at Reed Arena.
They got the switch. Jones has a little on him. Hey, yeah, I don't like that shot from Baldwin there because you have the mismatch inside. Throw it into the big fella with Collins defending him.
Here's Jones on the baseline. Damian Jones couldn't get the handle, and Caruso with a loose ball and another possession for Texas A&M. Jones from downtown. Fisher Davis's pass a little bit strong. On the first Saturday in March, the final game of the SEC regular season. The regular season amounting to so much for both these teams. Back on the other side of this.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. And Dos Equis. Stay thirsty, my friends. Please enjoy Dos Equis responsibly.
Tied at 4 as Texas A&M shoots for its first conference title in 3 decades. Going back to the time they were in the old Southwest Conference. Mark Jones chopping it up courtside along with Kara Lawson. One of the prevailing storylines coming into the game. Damian Jones, the reigning SEC Conference Player of the Week. He has really found something in this stretch run here.
He's averaging almost 20 and 10 in the last 5 games. And when you look at his production, I think specifically in today's game, Vanderbilt's got to find a way to get him quality touches. We see him sitting on the bench right now. He's not in the game, but he needs to score if they're going to pull out this win on the road.
And here's what Coach Stallings had to say about his postman in the middle.
I think the emergence of Damian Jones and the way he's played the last 4, 5, or 6 games has really been a significant difference for our team. I think he's averaging about 19 and 10, and when he plays like that, then we're a completely different basketball team.
And that they have been. They're on a 4-game winning streak. Collins from downtown knocks down to 3. Jones getting a little bit of a breather here. We'll see how long that lasts with the Aggies leading by 3. Henderson has come in to take his spot. Roberson looking inside. Baldwin fouled. That's going to be a blocking call against Anthony Collins.
You see, Texas A&M is going to switch those screens, and that's going to put the point guard Anthony Collins. That time he was on Josh Henderson. And while you don't want to stop everything offensively and just stare at the mismatch, because that can kind of logjam your offense, you do want to take advantage when Texas A&M does put themselves in that position defensively.
They want to defend the three-point line a little better than they did in the previous meeting. Fisher Davis from downtown, and they might want to pay special attention to that three-point line.
Yeah, Miller's got to step up more. If you're going to switch those screens, as you're talking about, Mark, keep the integrity of your perimeter defense. The big cannot be back. They have to be up on the three-point shooter.
Jones battling underneath, looking for the foul, won't get it. Took another block for Luke Cornett. Caruso to inbound for the Aggies. Texas A&M coming off a 81-63 win against Auburn in their previous outing. Caruso on the drive, blocked again by Cornett, out of bounds. It'll stay Aggie basketball. Boy, what a different team Vanderbilt is with him in the lineup. He missed several games in the middle part of the season.
Well, that was the thing. I mean, it was the defense. I thought that they really missed Luke Cornett. I mean, offensively, he's a ball mover. He has the ability to knock down the three-point shot. Not a shooting great percentage from out there this season. But you look at the blocks. I mean, look at that, almost 3 per game, 8th in the NCAA. And we've already seen the positive influence in this first half.
From downtown, and you know the selection committee has to look at that little asterisk of those games in which the Vanderbilt Commodores played without Luke Cornett when they're evaluating their resume, because that's the type of shooting he has when he's hitting those and rebounding too. Collins probing. Nice feed to Jones, who draws the foul. Kara, a lower scoring game than you would have expected at this point?
Well, I don't know if there's a little bit of nerves or not on either side. I mean, we've seen quality looks at the basket. Cornett missed that shot right there. But, you know, these guys are playing for something. I mean, think about the landscape of college basketball and all the conference regular season championships that are already decided. Indiana's won the Big Ten. Oregon's won the share of the Pac-12. Kansas has won the Big 12. We don't have that in the SEC. I mean, we're still playing for it all the way up until the last day, and so it means something. There's a lot of emotion coming out from both teams right now.
We talked about what's at stake for the Aggies. A win for Vanderbilt coupled with an LSU win at Kentucky, and Vandy would get a share of that 4-way tie for the regular season title in the SEC. Whistle and a foul going to go against the Aggies. Well, tonight, don't miss the latest edition in one of the greatest rivalries in college basketball. Number 8, North Carolina against number 17, Duke, on ESPN Saturday primetime, presented by DirecTV. Blue Devils upset the Tar Heels in Chapel Hill back in February. Can they return the favor, though? Find out tonight at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN, also streaming live. Roberson with the bucket. Got 5 in the ball game. Gilder coming in during the last break. Collins with some handle. Draws the foul on Roberson. Collins, one of a couple of transfers for Texas A&M. A graduate transfer. Played at University of Houston, and his good buddy Daniel House convinced him to sign with Texas A&M when he was looking for someone to use his final year. Talk about the transfers and the significant contributions they've made. Look at their lineage from South Florida, Houston, and Jones coming over from SMU when he played with Larry Brown. And Coach Kennedy was saying yesterday that Brown gave him a very high endorsement and stamp of approval. That it wasn't a big problem, did everything he was asked to do, and just wasn't quite the fit.
Well, they've certainly along with Alex Caruso, helped to transform this program and have them on the cusp of something really special.
Great backdoor cut and reverse layup by Fisher Davis. And a great dime by Baldwin.
How good has he been in his sophomore campaign? He's made a terrific jump from his freshman year to his sophomore year. Plays with a ton of confidence, shoots a great percentage from beyond the arc.
House with the rebound. Foul going to be called against Josh Henderson. And Stallings is irate. He is in the collective ears of the officials.
Kevin Stallings gave us a little look at his vertical jump. I know we've had the NFL Combine.
You saw that, right?
Yeah, he got elevated off the floor there a little bit.
Coach a little jacked up. House missing the first foul shot. House a 71% free throw shooter. Knocks down the shot. Will go to the bench. Look at the left of your screen there. Look at Coach Stallings.
There it is.
Oh, he almost blew a tire.
Love the passion. Not a 10 on the landing.
No,
not
no,
a 10
no.
on the landing.
Tied at 12, and Vanderbilt team, the expectations for them coming into the season were sky high, and right now starting to fulfill some of that promise. There's a little mismatch. Baldwin guarded by Davis. Now they switch back. Gilder, now the switch. Baldwin on the blow-by. One on the shot clock. They won't get it off in time.
Gotta know time and score for Josh Henderson, and he's going to get a seat on the bench after that play, but you have to know it. And I like what Wade Baldwin did. I think sometimes too many guards, when they get that mismatch situation, are content with shooting the long three. Attack. Your advantage is your quickness. Attack and get to the rim.
Davis posting up on the block, working against Cornette. Tough move by the freshman and got it to go. He talked about wanting to win this championship for the seniors, and he's doing his part early. Baldwin on the drive and kick. Nice extra pass to Justice. He can't convert, but the Commodores with another possession.
Yeah, there's Cornette again, using that length. Nice little tip back.
Got a mismatch underneath to Jones if they can find him. Being guarded by Gilder. Baldwin with the left draws the foul on Davis. Good patience that time by Vanderbilt. As Baldwin will go to the free throw line when we come back. And on the other side, we'll examine what they thought would happen and what has actually come to fruition here in the SEC. Things are getting serious and hectic, folks. Take a look at the SEC standings as they are, and on the right side of the column you see the preseason predictions. And the top four, as you mentioned during the break, are pretty much close, Kara.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at Alabama kind of exceeding their expectations, their low expectations for the SEC season. Certainly South Carolina has had a solid year, although I am worried about the Gamecocks right now. When you look at them going in the wrong direction, they're playing with a little bit of fire here. They got a tough game at Bud Walton Arena today against Arkansas. And that's never an easy place to win.
The Gamecocks leaking a little bit of oil down the stretch here. I'm sure Frank Martin will get that fixed up. He's done a great job coaching, as has, you saw Alabama. Avery Johnson has done an outstanding job with the Crimson Tide this year. When you look at guys like Obasahan, that's really improved this year, really picked up the level of his play. Tied at 14. 11 minutes to go here in the first half. Hogue in the ball game. Rocha back to Collins. This battle between a couple of teams playing some Really good basketball. A&M has won 5 in a row, and Davis has made some great contributions.
Yeah, I love the way he plays. He is tough, embraces the physical contact, embraces the challenge of going up against Damian Jones.
Baldwin turns it over. Fisher Davis wasn't expecting the pass. Davis has been active, Kara.
Well, just a freshman, and nice roll. Of course, it helps when the guy that's got the most assists in school history, Alex Caruso, is throwing you the pass. But yeah, that's not easy to do, turning and finishing over Jones and over Cornette.
It was Davis, if you remember, had the game-winning bucket in that overtime battle here at Reed Arena against Kentucky. One of the more memorable moments of the season so far for Texas A&M. Collins out front. Off the Davis screen. Throws it back to Collins. Good in and out play. Collins from downtown. There's a reason why he's shooting 48% from downtown on the season. The second one today. The chances come in for the Commodores. 8 on the shot clock. Jones, and great weak side help by Collins. Let's go inside the play here.
We're talking about Tyler Davis and the freshman and his body control, his strength, and that's going to emanate from your hips, your butt and your hips. And look at that strength. I mean, it's hard for Cornette right there with that wide base to be able to get around and make a play.
Collins in transition. Well, that was halfway down and out. There he is again. Davis draws a foul. And it might be against Jones.
And Collins was just a miss. I like that pull-up J in transition. And then that's just Tyler Davis outworking on the offensive glass.
And that's going to be Damian Jones's second personal foul. And Stallings with a decision to make here. Does he take him out or leave him in? He's going to leave him in. Roberson comes in the ball game for Fisher Davis.
God dang, you know.
Commodores have turned it over on 3 of their last 5 possessions. Barnett steps outside off the feed from Jones. Commodores not making the 3-point shots they did in the first meeting between these two teams. Jones wheels into traffic and throws it away.
Great timing of the double screen from Caruso. I mean, that was impeccable timing. If you're going to choose to double, the double has to come to affect the rhythm of the player that you're trying to double. Watch the timing. Wait on the spin, and boom, he's there. And that causes a turnover. You come early, he sees it, he sees over you because you're a guard, and he makes a play. He puts you in rotation. Great timing. There's a reason why Caruso is one of the best defenders and holds the steals record here at A&M.
In his last home game, a guy that grew up as a 4-year-old being a ball boy with his father who worked here at Texas A&M. Troshan the drive. And Cornette once again affecting the shot inside. Commodores, though, with just 14 points at the other end of the floor. That's the issue right now. A chance. Been a tough shooting year for him. Not having quite the success he did a season ago when he was all freshman in the SEC. Roberson with the floater, and that's going to be a charge. That's his third foul.
Let's take a look. Yep, absolutely. That's a good call right there. Excellent anticipation by Hogue. He's there. And that's a big blow for Vandy. You know, we were talking before the game with Texas A&M coaches, and, you know, they said we want to defend the three-point line. Obviously, you want to do that against Vandy. But we also want to not let Damian Jones get going. And sometimes it has an element of maybe you have to pick your poison. Well, they have done it both. They've done both here in the first 12 minutes. And you take a look, and there's Alex Caruso's father. It's senior day, and his son is showing out here early on for the Aggies. They're up 7.
Oh, we actually moved the senior day to after the game. You know, the last few games we had it before, and the emotions had an effect, I think, on the outcome. We didn't play real well.
Kara, what do you make of the strategic move to push the ceremony back to afterwards?
I think it's just all knowing your guys. And if you think your guys are going to be able to handle the emotions, then, you know, maybe you can do it before. But for after the game, it puts a lot of confidence in your players that you're going to come out with that W.
Yeah, because if you take that L, that senior day ceremony already has a shroud of, you know, it's depression over it. Not sure how else you can say it.
A little more subdued. Vandy comes out of this timeout in a little zone.
Oh, a vaunted shooter coming out of high school. He's one of the top shooters in the nation. And he signed with Texas A&M. So many great basketball players coming out of the state of Texas these days. Pressure inside. Aggies in the middle of a 9-0 run. Baldwin from downtown got it.
Yeah, they needed that. And that's the thing, you know, Vanderbilt's defense has kept them steady. They've not played a poor defensive half to this point. And it's only a 6-point game, but their three-point shooting prowess, just a couple big plays away from tying this thing up.
Wade Baldwin with 7 points now. Nice feed inside. Pressure. Morelos with a bank shot. I'm not sure that he planned it that way. 8-point lead. Damian Jones, who's been on a real tear lately, has been a little bit conspicuous by his silence in this game. Still hasn't scored, and a good sign for the Commodores as LaChance knocks down the 3 ball.
That's beautiful offense, and that's great eye manipulation there by Matthew Fisher-Davis. He looked at the post up to Damian Jones. That brought Riley LaChance's defender in, and he skipped past to give his teammate an open 3.
Talk about LaChance's scoring down almost 30% from a season ago. Hogue. Great man-sized rebound by Jones. Oh, putting a little muscle in his hustle. The other Jones with a post-up. Got it. And Damian Jones on the board with his first field goal. Lead down to 5. House on the move, back to Jones. Strong move on Cornette. Cornette, see what kind of post-up game he's got. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that was really nice. He's claiming he got hit on the elbow there as well.
Collins got an open look from downtown. That's his 3rd miss, now 2 of 5 from range. Under 5 minutes to go. Baldwin pulls and misses. I was just going to say, Baldwin seems a little too deferential so far at the offensive end. Yes or no?
Well, they've closed him off in transition. I think we have to credit Texas A&M in their defense. And when they've closed him off in transition, that's where he gets a lot of his quality looks. slicing and driving to the basket. So let's see if he's able to find one here. Nice driving kick.
Nice look to LaChance. And LaChance, little heat check bucket for him, and the lead is down to 2. The comeback of Riley LaChance may have started in earnest here today in College Station. He is reborn and resurrected, and the Commodores on the move. Hey, Luke Walton, guys, he's not the substitute teacher. He's our coach. Let's go to work.
Oh, they're the best show in sports. I mean, aren't they? Right now.
On all the television.
Yeah, they are. And I don't know. Do you think Steph will get unanimous MVP? I think he should be the MVP. But don't you? I mean, maybe a writer in Oklahoma City decides they're going to vote for Westbrook instead. I mean, I think it's a clear decision. But sometimes there's just one person that doesn't want to give that honor.
Yeah, there were several years ago, back when Shaq won the MVP, there was a writer that didn't vote for him. And sometimes you think it's a guy just trying to look for a little attention, as Jones grabbing some attention underneath as an and one opportunity, and the Commodores with a chance here to take the lead.
So what do you notice about the change in the Vandy offense? It's been they're getting to stuff early. If you get to post hits early, before the defense can load up, before they can match up, in transition you can get open threes with the push. So the pace of their offense and how quickly they're getting into it, that's improved, and now they're scoring the ball.
Jones thought to be a mid-range lottery pick. And Caruso on the drive. Davis lost the handle and drew the foul and run. The freshman back at the other end.
I love Tyler Davis. I mean, I just love the way it fumbles the pass a little bit here and then just finishes up and through the contact. He's not scared about it. He doesn't shy away.
He was the guy who just joining us yesterday, yelling, imploring his teammates to get busy, get to work. He was yelling at one of his fellow bigs to put those little 3 men in the hole and dunk on him.
Well, I do a little bit of lip reading in my spare time. Part of what he said is, I'm here, and another portion has big boy in it. I don't know if I can say the rest, but he was pumped up.
Jones, good ball movement by the Commodores. Jones looking for the repost, didn't get it. 10 on the shot clock, LaChance over to Baldwin. Nice kick out to Damian Jones, way off the mark. Three minutes to go in the first half. Hogan, Trosha, Morelos, little two-man game. Pick and pop action. And Cornette with the ball. Good hands by Hogue to knock it away. And Jones right back at it. Tough pass by Fisher Davis. Jones looks like he's counting to 10 before he gets mad.
Yeah, he's flustered. Yeah, he's flustered because he doesn't know where the people are coming from, right? When Caruso came, he came from the weak side. That time, Trosha Morelos came from the strong side and is tipping the ball away. He doesn't know where their defense is coming from when he gets the ball on the block.
8 turnovers for the Commodores here in the first half. Very uncharacteristic, and that should be a goaltender, as Jones went with it quick. And that's going to be Damian Jones's 3rd personal foul right here.
Well, it's definitely goaltending. I'm not sure that I saw the foul initially on the drive. Maybe it was a little bit earlier.
So Jones is going to sit out, we think, the last 2.5 minutes.
Let's take a look here. A little bit with the hips.
And the Aggies with another possession, up by 4, seeking their first conference championship in 3 decades. Posting up Fisher Davis, good help. But Cornette took that right away from Trosha, and that's a man-sized foul. Flexing.
Tenacious on the offensive glass. The Aggies have been in this first half, and you see Jones just with the power.
He got swole going to the hole.
How great is this atmosphere? I mean, I just got some goosebumps there on that dead ball. I mean, these people, you're talking about an opportunity for the first conference title in how many years? 30 years at Texas A&M.
They're going to go to the NCAA tournament, barring some kind of total collapse. Oh, got it. And they can smell a conference championship. The mic is yours, College Station. Look at what's at stake, and an opportunity for Texas A&M to hang another banner here in the rafters. It's been a long wait. Some 30 years back as members of the old Southwest Conference. I'm not sure there are a lot of people around that still remember who exactly was in the conference at that time. Think about Rin Wright, that guys that were affectionately called the Wall down here back in the day. Baldwin. And the tip is good. And they stop the hemorrhaging temporarily. Seahick with the tip. Nice look by Caruso. Jones couldn't convert, and Cornette with the board. Under a minute to go here. Baldwin having a conversation with the official and getting the set from the sideline from Coach Stallings. No chance, had it blocked. 10 seconds, they'll run it down and get one. Jones missing, and that's going to be the end of the first half. Texas A&M 20 minutes away from their first conference championship in 3 decades. Can they close the sale? They lead it by 7. Right now we're going to go to Chris Cotter and Andy Katz for the Land Rover halftime report. Folks, this place is popping. Welcome back, everyone, to Reed Arena. College Station, Texas, the backdrop, as you're watching the SEC on ESPN. Vanderbilt down by 7 as we get started here in the second half. Remember what's at stake, folks. A Texas A&M win today, and they would get at least a share of the regular season title. And coupled with a Kentucky loss, they would be the #1 seed in the upcoming conference tournament. Mark Jones courtside along with Kara Lawson. A 10-2 run at the end of the first half for A&M put them up by this margin, and they're really playing their best basketball at just the right time.
Went through a little lull there in the middle part of the SEC season, but they have come on strong, entering this game with 5 wins in a row. And you see they do it for a little different ways. I mean, you see off of turnovers. You see the 17 assists. Alex Caruso has those 6 assists there in the first half. We saw the prowess and the energy on the interior on the offensive glass from Jalen Jones and Tyler Davis. So we've seen it from all of the A&M players here in the first 20 minutes. But I think in this game specifically, the difference has been disrupting the rhythm of Damian Jones. 19 and 10 averaging in his last 5 games coming in. They have flustered him. He picked up 3 fouls. He had to go to the bench a couple times there in the first half. They have not gotten the contributions from Damian Jones they're used to getting, and as a result, the Aggies, they're up 7.
Jones with just 5 points and 2 rebounds in the first half. Aggies with possession here to start the second half. Vandy with a little zone look here, Craig.
We saw Vandy go to zone towards the end of that first half, and they're coming out in the second half with that as well. And probably have to be mindful, or they're being mindful of the fact that Jones has 3 fouls. You can protect players in zone defense on the back line a little bit easier than in man-to-man.
Collins out front. Caruso with the ball. Didn't score in the first half, but did have 6 dimes. 7 on the shot clock. They got to get to work. House with the ball fake, and that's the 4th foul on Damian Jones. Wow, that is a pivotal and critical miscalculation for Kevin Stallings, starting center.
He rolled the dice. He rolled the dice in starting him here in the second half. And it's a correct call. It's a smart play there by Daniel House to get him up in the air. And it's easy to say watching, well, you shouldn't have jumped, Damian. You shouldn't have gone after it. But you're fighting instincts. And that's why it's so hard for players to play with foul trouble, because you're asking them to fight their instincts of playing basketball. Damian Jones sees a guy go up for a shot. What's he going to do? He's going to contest it.
Wow, he's going to have to sit for a while here. Not much that he can do. He's got to sit. Just underway. A look of resignation etched across his face. So where do the points, where does the production come from now for the Commodores? Baldwin. They'll go to the free throw line, drawing the foul on Jalen Jones.
If there's one guy on the team that will not go quietly, it's Wade Baldwin. Okay, and this is a player that has a competitive streak, a little bit of a mean streak, the way that he plays. He plays angry. And so you can believe that if the fire's going to come from somewhere, it's going to come from number 4.
And speaking with Coach Kennedy, the opposition coach, last night, he said that guy, Wade Baldwin, is the player that gives Vandy its swag. He is a little bit of an outlier, and I mean that in a flattering way, a complimentary way, in comparison to the rest of the disposition collectively of this Vanderbilt team. It was Baldwin last year that has stared down his players, his teammates, several times and said, hey, let's get to work. In particular, Jones saying, you're the best guy on this floor. Start playing like it.
Yep.
House off the mark. And here comes Baldwin. Richard Davis cross court to LaChance, who knocked down a couple of 3-pointers in the first half.
Really good closeouts by A&M on those shooters. Just watch this team defensively. They have been sound here today.
LaChance picked up his dribble. 10 on the shot clock. Roberson lost the handle. A whistle. What's the call? Collins is down.
He did, and I think the ref might have blown the whistle a little bit prematurely because he was hurt. It looked like Fisher Davis was opportunistic there and took the basketball away. Collins crumpled to the floor.
He might have taken a knee to the head here in the ensuing scramble after the loose ball.
Yeah, there it is right there. Let's hope he's all right.
Anytime you look at a blow to the head, you've got to be careful. And without speculating, going through the protocol, I just think anytime there's a head injury, you check, you're being especially careful.
Obviously not intentional there by Roberson. Just Collins and Roberson both going hard after the basketball.
A&M calling a timeout.
Looks like the refs are trying to discern who has possession of the basketball.
Collins being a big part of the Aggies today with 8 points and an assist.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by the Lexus Command Performance Sales Event. Now through March 31st, see your Lexus dealer. and McDonald's. Now mix and match your favorites on McDonald's McPick 2 menu.
Aggies basketball after that scramble in which Anthony Collins was shaken up. You got an explanation, Carol. What happened?
Yeah, so one of the Texas A&M players called timeout while Anthony Collins was on the ground. So that's why Texas A&M has the basketball. As you see how score there, that's why they have the basketball. And that's why all that stuff that happened with Fisher Davis swiping the ball and all that occurred after Texas A&M had called the timeout.
And Kevin Stallings, the head coach for the Commodores, discussing it right now still with one of the officials. Chance on the drive, a contested shot by Davis. He really made him change it and miss. Jones inside. Strong move to draw the foul against Vandy. You can take your pick. Looked like Cornette was the guy that caused the contact.
So here's the play, and you see the need to head. See Caruso very smartly calling timeout, and he's granted that. And they also reviewed to see if anything out of the ordinary happened of a flagrant variety, but clearly it was just two players hustling after the basketball, and unfortunately for Collins, he got tagged with the knee to the head.
I think the Commodores were contesting the fact that, in their opinion, that there was no possession by the Aggies. Regardless, Kevin Stallings' team down by 10, make it 11. After Jones knocks down a couple of free throws. Battling with his big man, Damian Jones, sitting beside him. At what point do you think about bringing him back in, Phil?
If I think it's going to get out of hand, and this is a danger zone right here. This is the danger zone for Vandy. And understand how Vandy's offense is composed. It's composed with a guy in the middle that's going to draw attention, that's going to draw double teams, that can score one-on-one. When the offense is devoid of that, it puts a lot of pressure on all the other pieces.
A chance. Pull up over Davis. Jones with a quick trigger. And House with another possession for Texas A&M.
Just quicker to everything, aren't they? Quicker to the offensive glass, quicker to the floor.
Down to Caruso. Gilder with a nice feed inside. Davis with the bucket. Roberson, Cornette with the tip. All Aggies on the glass. Caruso said earlier that if they win a conference championship, it would be the biggest achievement of his career here at Texas A&M. And Davis trying to help him out. Trying to pull his way to the bucket, lost the handle, and here's Baldwin. Fisher Davis. And Roberson couldn't get the handle. Folks, tonight, don't miss the latest edition in one of the greatest rivalries in college basketball. Number 8 against number 17, North Carolina Duke. ESPN Saturday prime time presented by DirecTV, the rematch. That starts 6:30 Eastern on ESPN, also streaming live. Caruso with another good look on the follow by Jones.
Well, it's gotten out of hand pretty quickly, hasn't it?
Baldwin. Fisher Davis. Butter. Temporarily silencing the crowd here. Fisher Davis, 3 of 6 from the field. Still a 13-point deficit. Caruso on the drive. That's going to be an offensive foul. A rare turnover. Timeout when we come back. We're going to speak with Joey Brackets hunkered down in the infinity bracket bunker. It's March, folks. Aggies 13-point lead and 15:05 away from their first conference championship in 30 years. Davis and Caruso getting a breather. And it's March, folks, so we're going to go to Joe Lunardi live in the infinity bracket bunker. Joe, thanks a lot for joining us right now. The SEC has had as much unpredictability as any conference out there. What do you make of the state of the conference right now, and ultimately how many teams you think make it through to the tournament?
It's certainly in good shape at the top with Kentucky and Texas A&M playing for seeding at this point. I also think Vanderbilt, with its late season surge, is in very good shape. Maybe not to be a single-digit seed with a loss today, but certainly the Commodores should be in the tournament. The teams we're watching, of course, are LSU, Alabama, and Florida, all among our first couple of groups out. And that LSU at Kentucky game tonight going to be very, very meaningful for the Tigers.
Well, Joe, how precarious of a position has South Carolina put themselves in with kind of this late season swoon?
I think more dangerous than they would like to be, simply because their non-conference schedule was so weak and they don't have anything to hang their hat on outside of the league. However, they are 6-3 against teams in the field. I think for the most part, South Carolina, provided they can get one more win, whether it's, you know, in this final weekend or in Nashville, should be in the field.
Joe, what does LSU have to do to make it to the tournament? They obviously need to beat Kentucky today, but beyond that, what's their successful path?
If they should somehow get the #1 seed in the SEC tournament, unlikely now with what Texas A&M's doing in your game, that would be a major chit and shorten their workload at the SEC tournament. I think if they win tonight at Rupp Arena and avoid a bad loss in Nashville, meaning a team below them in the conference, a second division SEC team, they might get in. But a loss tonight, and I think LSU is looking at needing the automatic bid.
Joey, want to thank you for joining us, and I know that you're probably ordering a lot of takeout Chinese food right now, so get comfortable. Thanks again. This thing has blown open. Looks like they're going to have a pretty good senior night party after this game, Carol Lawson, as Coach Kennedy flipped the script and is having the ceremony after the game as opposed to before, because he said before, in speaking with you, that he didn't think his players reacted well when they did it before the game.
Senior nights in College Station might forever be after the game, after this type of performance. Mark, it is so loud in here. The atmosphere is incredible. I couldn't even hear the whistle for the timeout. I mean, this is incredible, and the stakes are high. This is a Texas A&M team that's playing for a regular season championship in the SEC, and their effort on the floor has matched the stakes this afternoon.
Now look at some of the things that we'd love to see in our postseason wish list once the tournament begins. Ben Simmons, Kara, on your list. The Monmouth bench with all of their routines, quote unquote.
Healthy North Carolina, and we'll see them see if they can bounce back against Duke later on this evening. The sounds of Avery Johnson, the fact that he has Alabama in the at-large conversation is remarkable. And then Buddy Hield, what a season he has had for Oklahoma and Lon Kruger.
18-point lead, Jones back in, and is it a case of too little too late. And as far as Avery Johnson goes, the sounds of Avery Johnson, in his own words, he once told me, Jonesy, you can't just put anything in the gumbo and call it jumbo gumbo. It's about chemistry and recipe.
Well, whatever he's cooking up down in Tuscaloosa, he's doing a great job.
In my estimation, the SEC Coach of the Year. A whistle and a charge against Jones. Speaking of senior night,
wow.
You had 31 on yours.
I had 30. Wow.
You shot a lot more than I did back in the day at York University.
How about that?
6 of 6.
That's impressive by the truck. To come up with yours, man. That was pre-internet, brother. That was pre-internet.
Yeah, that was pre-Wikipedia. There been a lot of phone calls. Cornette. Out of bounds. Texas A&M basketball. So hold on, when did Coach take you out? When did Coach Summit finally take you out? If you went for 31, you went 40 minutes.
I was feeling like the Aggies are today, man. I was feeling good. It was senior night. What a performance by Texas A&M.
16-point lead for Texas A&M on the verge of their first conference title in 30 years. And Carol, what do you make of your all-SEC team?
I'm ready to take these guys and challenge everybody. But you look at Tyler Ulis and Jamal Murray, they're the best backcourt in the country. And those two have an opportunity to lead Kentucky to a share of a regular season championship. Jalen Jones, I think, has had a terrific season here at Texas A&M. Ben Simmons, can't say enough about what he's done. And then Damian Jones, buoyed by that second half. The second half of the SEC slate. We're not getting to see a ton of him today as he just scores right there. But he's had an all-SEC type season at that center position.
And Avery Johnson is the Coach of the Year. Yep. And look at some of the coaching this year in the conference overall. Certainly a big upgrade with some of the guys that came in. Avery, one of them.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Ben Howland coming in at Mississippi State. It's been a lot of turnover over the last couple of years in the SEC, and I think it's been for the better. Bruce Pearl at Auburn.
You know, back to your all-conference team in the SEC, I would just make one change. I would just say as Cornette picks up his fourth foul. I don't know that we can leave off, or I can leave off anyway, the top scorer in the league, Stephon Moody from Ole Miss. He can score the basketball.
He's had a fantastic season, and that was my last decision, was Murray or Moody, and I went with Murray because of the efficiency, greater efficiency in terms of scoring, and he's just a tick behind Moody in terms of scoring the basketball, in terms of the numbers. But you can't go wrong with either of those players. They've had great years.
Rocha inside to Davis. That's big boy basketball. Wow. Davis, a very precocious and talented freshman. A chance turns it over.
Tyler Davis is making an impression right here with his physicality. The talk was on Damian Jones coming into this game at the 5 position, and Tyler Davis has etched his position in this game with his physicality.
You know, Tyler Davis, his cousin is Golden Tate, who was very proud of his younger cousin as Baldwin misses the layup. Roberson blocked, and Davis with the rebound. Golden Tate plans on attending the upcoming SEC tournament to watch his younger cousin play. A tournament in Nashville. Hogg on the show and go. Hogg with the down, Davis. That's the future for Texas A&M. Jones spins and is fouled. Let's go inside the play and take a look at a couple of talented freshmen in the future for the Aggies here.
Oh, with the nice little flip pass. And Tyler Davis, I love how engaged and competitive Tyler Davis is on every play. I mean, he wants to win every possession. Some people in football, they call it motor, right? The guy has a motor. I mean, that's what Tyler Davis has. And it means something to him. Yeah. I mean, watch him on this free throw. He doesn't give an inch anytime out there.
Two-time SEC Freshman of the Week this year and former Mr. Basketball in the state of Texas.
He's got scratches on his left arm. I mean, you can tell that's a post player right there. He's not one of these guys that's trying to just stand out there and shoot threes, right? He's trying to mix it up in the paint.
In a day and age where you don't see a lot of postmen sitting down in the chair and getting post position on the block. Davis certainly a throwback. And that's going to be the 5th foul on Jones. He's done. And he is incensed. That's about as animated as you'll see Damian Jones. That's that look. As the famous song goes, you got when your girl is wearing less and going out more. Fisher Davis banks one home from downtown. Just past the halfway point of the second half. And the Commodores with an uphill climb, down by 16. Gilder with the three, yes. Another talented freshman. Gilder, Davis. Barnett off the mark. A 19-point lead. Again, Gilder. Davis with the loose ball rebound. He's got one-on-one against Barnett. Says why not? And Caruso going to settle things down and run a set. Gotta love the way he's impacted the game without scoring today.
It's what he's done his entire career. Look at that pass. I mean, right on the money.
He wanted to put Fisher Davis in the rim. Well, folks, following the marquee matchup between Louisville and Virginia on ESPN tonight. Stick around for Sports Center at Night with Bucci and Steve Levy. We'll have all the highlights from a huge day in college hoops, NBA, NHL, latest from Cadillac Championship at Doral, MLB Spring Training, a lot more. Sports Center at Night, right after Louisville, Virginia on ESPN, also streaming live on the app.
The ACC, one of the conferences yet to be determined. North Carolina and Miami. Jim Larinaga's Miami crew tied atop the ACC heading into the final day of play. So
they got a big win at Notre Dame.
Yep.
64% free throw shooter. We were talking about the senior, Alex Caruso. His father played ball at Creighton and is an associate AD here. All-time steals leader at Texas A&M. And asked Coach Kennedy, what do you remember about the home visit during his recruitment? He said, Mark, I didn't really have to go through all that because he always wanted to be an Aggie. Went to Consolidated A&M High School in College Station here. And there was no decision really when it became time for signing day.
Both of his sisters, one of them graduated from Texas A&M, one of them's in school right now, so it's an Aggie family.
Yeah. Well, a chance from deep. Well, if there's a silver lining to the shellacking that they're taking right now, it's that Riley LaChance seems to have trended in the right direction here.
Well, that's where, you know, playing in blowouts, obviously there's a lot of time left. You're not conceding if you're Vanderbilt, but some guys can play a little bit freer without the game pressure.
House got it back. Everything going the Aggies' way.
Vanderbilt just has not been able to take the physicality of Texas A&M. I mean, House and Jones and Davis, those guys have just been animals on the glass.
Roberson squares up and fouls. And it's one and done at the offensive end. Damian Jones, if you're just joining us, folks, has fouled out of the ball game with 11 points and 2 rebounds. His first 2 fouls early in the ball game and was never really himself. Caruso had it knocked away. Here's LaChance. LaChance going to try another 3. Remember, Texas A&M with a little bit of attrition. Anthony Collins, their starting point guard, took a blow to the head about 7 minutes ago and still hasn't returned. Caruso over to House. Hogue outside. Jones with another rebound. Kennedy imploring his team, rewarding the effort with a comfortable 19-point lead when we come back. On the verge of their first conference title in 30 years. Played a great game last week in their win at home. Meanwhile, Aggies with a 19-point lead. Bill Kennedy has done a terrific job in each and every one of his stops. Centenary from 97 to 99, Southeastern Louisiana after that. And then named the head coach here in 2011. Subsequently went through some health issues, diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and had the #6 recruiting class last year. He's getting some great players out of the state of Texas, which is loaded with high school talent.
Well, that's the thing when you watch this team play. Certainly their experience is what makes them special. Caruso and Jones and House. But you look at the potential of guys like Davis, you know, guys like Hogue. I mean, they just jump off of the screen when you watch them play and say, man, what is this guy going to look like after a full summer of playing?
And, you know, 2 people that I know of now that were at Centenary, you know who the other one is? I'm going to ask a little trivia here. There's an NBA great that went to Centenary.
Robert Parrish?
Hey! Hey! Oh, but did you cheat on me?
Not a cheat. There's nothing in front of me.
Okay. Folks, she's coming clean. You got it. As Henderson knocks down the elbow jump shot, the lead down to 17. Very good, the Chief.
Thank you.
All right.
He was quite the player.
I gotta dig deeper. You're gonna hit me on the Chiefs. Now I gotta dig deeper than that. Jones outside. Caruso. Boy, even off deflected balls, A&M still seems to come up with it. House. This on the foul going to go against Kosher over the back of Josh Henderson. 5:23 to go. Texas A&M hit that slump in the middle part of the season, losing several games, and Coach Kennedy didn't panic. He knew that they were close in a lot of those games, and the mere fact of the matter was that they had some tough road games to play in a very competitive conference as Justice gets the reverse layup. They're certainly able to right the ship, and that really speaks to the good senior leadership they have. Trocher Morelos to Hogue. House on the drive. That's going to be a charge. That was against Daniel House.
And you see Henderson's there. I think that's a good call.
Thought he actually traveled before that. Either way, it's going to be Vanderbilt basketball. The former Houston Cougar transfer. Daniel House. Justice.
Yep.
And he finds the mark.
Not out of the woods.
Yep.
I mean, you can't start taking the air out of the ball too much here because of the prowess of Vandy from beyond the three-point line. So if you're Texas A&M, you need a solid possession.
Get a stop here. They get it to 10. Commodores on a 10-2 run. Hogue over to Davis. He went to the bench a moment ago and was holding his finger on his shooting hand. That was in wake of the foul shot that he took. Roberson drive and kick. Good closeouts by the Aggies. And the chance got ripped. They got a new reset on the shot clock. Didn't look like there was possession, but obviously they got the reset. And look at that, folks. We got a 10-point ball game on the jumper by Henderson.
I like it, Vandy. I like it. I like the toughness they're showing.
And Bill Kennedy going to talk things over with his team. Try and recalibrate themselves and regain their focus. With 3:19 to go. Nobody said conference titles come easy. All right. Vanderbilt looking for its 20th win of the season. Doing it with Damian Jones, their leading scorer, on the bench. Fouled out with 9:54 to go. And his team down by 16. Out of the timeout, the Aggies their possession, and will stay Texas A&M basketball. You know, I know Chris is busy back there in the studio. I changed my name to Trevor.
No.
Because I'm in protection. You know, I'm in the women's protection program.
That's
that
my
time
guy.
of year.
Yeah, that's my guy, Cotter. I know how it is back in the studio. You got a lot of juggling, a lot of balls at one time.
You can call me anything. Call me mad about March. Caruso. Oh. And a proud dad watching. His first bucket of the ball game to go along with 8 assists. And the crowd back into this game. Great block by Davis. Caruso going to be very selective and judicious with the shot clock here at 10. House with the step back. A chance in a rush. Nice dime to Henderson, and he draws the foul. Stops the clock with 1:45 to go.
The energy of Texas A&M has just been too much for Vanderbilt to handle, particularly on the interior. And Tyler Davis has been a force. He's been a big part of it.
Tell you what, the party got started here almost prematurely, about 8 minutes ago. And then Vanderbilt made a little run. And we could have a pretty good celebration here if this trends in the same direction it's heading right now.
I think the crowd got a little bit tired there.
Yeah.
They had to get their second win.
10-point game.
Although the way they go at it, the way they cheer, I don't know if they get tired here in Aggie Land.
No. Caruso. They can afford to burn a lot of clock here. Go deep into the shot clock. Good defense by Justice. 7 on the shot clock, knocked out of bounds. With 6 to go on the shot clock. And don't forget tonight, folks, North Carolina Duke, number 8 against number 17. The rematch. Duke winning the first one in Chapel Hill, 6:30 Eastern time. House missing the finger roll. And he's still alive, barely. 3 on the way from the chance is short. Justice trying another one. No doubt about that rebound. And Jalen Jones. And he draws the foul from Henderson. Well, you would understand if the fans here wanted to storm the court, but there's a financial deterrent in place. First offense is $50,000. It doubles for the second offense, and it more than doubles for the third offense. I guess it matters just how willing your AD is to write that check.
No, I think it matters how willing the students are to rush the court. I don't know if the AD can stop them if they want to do it. But you see, Vandy stormed the court and had that $100,000 fine. What's the theme there? Both home games, upset wins over Kentucky. And, you know, Sean Miller was in the news in the Pac-12 about Arizona, because when you're those heavy favorites, whether you're Duke or Kentucky and Arizona, it seems to be that the storming the court always happens when you're on the road.
Right. That was at that Auburn-Kentucky game. And Jones tripped up and took exception to that from Cameron Justice, although it seemed to be inadvertent. You never really know until you look at the tape, as evidenced by the Duke situation.
Yeah. And Grayson Allen.
Yeah, Grayson Allen has been accused of it twice. It seemed like he had done it purposefully. Jones going to the free throw line. His dad played basketball at nearby Prairie View A&M as you pass that school on the highway on the drive from Houston to College Station.
Well, I assume we're going to get some curtain calls here for the Texas A&M seniors at some point.
Jones, a native of Dallas, and House from Fresno, Texas. Caruso, a College Station, Texas native. Damian Jones, merely a spectator at this point. 45 seconds to go. And depending on the outcome of tonight's game in Lexington, Texas A&M could end up with sole possession of the conference title. The 3-ball good from Joe Toy.
Nice quick action there for Vanderbilt to get the 3. You're in the foul, extend the game situation with the 8-point deficit, but give yourself a chance. You never know. You might fall into a steal.
Still a little bit of work to do for the Aggies. Now, Vanderbilt's streak was at 4 coming into this game. Great help from the bench. Cornette with good offense and tremendous three-point shooting against Florida. They made half of them, half of their 20 attempts. They beat Georgia. We saw that game. They committed only 5 turnovers in that game, but not the case today in College Station. Joe Lunardi has them at a 9 seed right now. Lunardi has 4 teams from the SEC going to the tournament as of now. Wide open Caruso to break the pressure. And he draws the foul from Riley LaChance. Caruso lost his footing a little bit.
Yeah, real time it looked like he slipped. Oh, and they're saying that just the touch in the back was a foul. Wow. I mean, my eyes got big when he slipped. I'm thinking Vandy just got the turnover that they needed. Opportunity to go the other way.
Guy that's very familiar with campus here at Texas A&M and College Station. As a 5-year-old, was a ball boy for the basketball team. And he'd be shooting on these rims when he wasn't even strong enough to draw iron. Leads all-time active players in steals as well. A chance from deep. An SEC conference title in their sights. Nothing left but the senior night celebration after the game now. What a scene. A curtain call for the seniors. Caruso and House taking their final bows. We're going to go to the NCAA tournament for the first time as Justice knocks down the three for the first time in 5 years. And they'll wait to see if the conference title belongs to them singularly, depending on what happens in Lexington. Jones and House and Caruso, the seniors, lead the way as the Aggies win it by 9. In the process, they earned their 24th win of the season against just 7 defeats and win their 6th consecutive game. Up next for them, it's the SEC Conference Tournament in Nashville. Coming up next on ESPN2, college basketball action continues. Syracuse taking on Florida State. For Carol Lawson, I'm Mark Jones. That's coming up next, but right now we head back to the studio. Fellas?
Thank you, Mark.